As the recovery efforts continue in Flint, what have you learned about the situation there, and how would that inform what you do as governor?
I sat on a childhood lead elimination task force when I was health director in the city of Detroit around the Flint water crisis. And when I realized that state government wasn't actually serious about implementing a lot of the recommendations that the experts in the room had made, I realized that there was a real responsibility to change leadership up. It's a big reason why I'm running. And right now, 4 years on, regardless of what average water testing shows, people in Flint don't trust their water because it's still not clean. You look at the housing, you go into the houses, you pour the water into a glass, it's still brown. People don't trust that water, and for a good reason. They've been lied to by state government for a very long time, and the water just doesn't look clean. We've got a responsibility to get the lead piping out of the ground. That is a major infrastructure investment that we as a state need to make, and it's not just Flint, it's also Detroit, and frankly any city that had much of its infrastructure built before the turn of the 20th century. And so that's an investment that I'm willing to really move forward on. I think there's a lot of federal money that can be pulled down to make that happen. It's already there, but we've got to be able to cut through bureaucracy. I'm the only person in this race that ever has had the experience of actually cutting through bureaucracy in my role in the health department, and I think I'm the right person as a doctor and as a former executive in municipal government to be able to take Flint where it needs to go, and also start thinking bigger picture about what those kids are going to need over the long term. As a doctor, I can tell you that lead, it is insidious in the ways that it competes for calcium in your bones, and so it sits in the bones for a long period of time. And the best single thing we needed to be able to do is provide those kids access to universal health care over the long term, and cognitive stimulation in their schools. And right now, the kinds of investments that Flint schools need are massive. And that's why what we talked about earlier in terms of school reform is so critical, and I'm sure what we'll talk about later in terms of health reform is also very critical.